Sometimes I honestly don't have any idea what's going on, and I can't be alone in this, right? You can't tell me that that's right, you awesome viewer that's watching and listening to this video right now, you can't say that you have never watched something go down. Maybe you were an outsider, maybe it was happening to you. I'm not discriminating here with your situations, that's besides the point, but let's just say that I doubt you have never had the pleasure of seeing something happen and just wondered, what the hell just happened? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's LtBuzzLitebeer, and I know some of you really like it when I just throw out the script and wing it, and in case you can't tell, this is one of those days, so hallelujah, here you go. Because we've got some wild goings on with this game that went down over the last, I don't know, what, 24 hours, that have me looking at the situation and wondering what the hell happened. Now don't worry, we'll get into all that, but first, a huge thanks for all the continued support. Please smash that sub button for more intensive Division content in your lives. And don't forget to ring the notifications bell and set it to receive all alerts. Really important, because without that, you may not receive a message that I just uploaded a video. Let's break this all down. I'm going to give you my feedback and, of course, my thoughts on it all. Let's go. Okay, so it's quite early in the morning here for me. I just actually chugged my second cup of coffee in preparation for this commentary. I've got a lot of thoughts and emotions swirling around in my head as to the Division 2 over this last 24 hours. I'm going to do my best to keep this calm, cool, and collected. And we're going to discuss the last 24 hours in just a moment. But if we're going to discuss this, we need to actually go back probably a couple weeks, maybe a week and a half. I don't know the exact date, to when the Season 10 final manhunt mission, the General Anderson mission at the Fairview power plant, was made available to us. I'm not going to discuss the mission itself. I like the cutscene at the end. I like where the story's going. I've discussed that in previous videos. I'm not going to discuss the Doctor home itself. All right? This is not the kind of forum that I want to use right now to discuss whether or not the talent is decent or not. What we do need to discuss is the fact that if you finish that final mission with your backpack being full, the way that mission was designed, you got deposited back at the Boo. Your Doctor home was now sitting on the ground back at Fairview, and you can see the obvious disconnect here. You could not go back and get it. And the only workaround that I've read, I personally didn't try it, but I read, is that you needed to reset your entire manhunt, all of that, so you could go back and do it all again, and that was the only way you could get the Doctor home again. Okay, so that was issue number one. Players were already kind of torqued about that. But then we found out, because it was expressly written in the patch notes, you would not be able to replay the General Anderson manhunt mission over and over. Well, players figured out you could, and not only could you, but you could play it on whatever difficulty you wanted, and each and every time you finished it up, it rewarded you with a random exotic. This became the new Summit Floor 10 XP farm for the game, which personally I don't think that should have been removed from the game, and it was done so in a very dubious manner, very shady. But players figured it out. Man, I can get an exotic. Doesn't matter what difficulty I run through. I can be effing Kratos on normal difficulty and just slaughter rooms with the press of a single button, a la Warframe, and I can get an exotic at the end. Doesn't matter what exotic it is. Who cares what exotic it is, because you're going to break it down for an exotic component so you can use it over in the expertise system as you get up to, I think it's rank 10 or 11 or something like that. Then it starts charging you exotic components. And we know this game is incredibly stingy with exotics. Not only falling on the ground, but just exotic components. I think I finished 50 plus heroic checkpoints, or control points, excuse me. I've seen one exotic component hit the ground, and I know exactly what they look like down in the feed at the bottom. I know how to check my materials. People are like, dude, you probably got a bunch, you don't know. No, I know. I've seen one. Okay, so players figured out, damn, I can go over here, I can finish this up, I can get a chatterbox, break it down, exotic component. I can finish this up on normal difficulty. I got an Acosta's go bag, I don't care about it, break it down, exotic component. And so this is where all this drama now starts from the last 24 hours. This tweet popped up yesterday for us. This came to me at 10:30 a.m. December 19th. I guess this is my time, 10:30. We're taking the Division 2 servers down for a scheduled maintenance tomorrow, Tuesday, December 20th. So it's actually this morning at 9:30 a.m. CET. That's 3:30 a.m. EST. That's me, East Coast time. Estimated downtime is 3 hours. No notes listed here, just, hey, we're taking the game down. We got some business we need to handle. So naturally, players' antenna go up. What's going on? Enter tweet number 2. This is the explanation now because they started to see some pushback on it. This is what they were going to do. What we are implementing changing with this maintenance, that I guess they couldn't include that with the first tweet, but here it is. The Dr. Home exotic rifle will now be the only exotic rewarded for the Season 10 prime target mission completion. So let me read that again to you because it reads one way, but it feels a complete different way. And maybe I'm wrong here, but it says the Dr. Home exotic rifle will now be the only exotic rewarded for the Season 10 prime target mission completion. So, to me, and I think I got a pretty good understanding of grammar and how it's being expressed here, to me, this says, hey, we're taking all the other exotics out of the loot pool. Doesn't matter what difficulty you finish this on. As soon as you finish that Season 10 prime target mission completion, that's the General Anderson mission, doesn't matter what difficulty you're on. Instead of an Acosta's Go Bag over here, a Chatterbox, a Diamondback, a Mantis, it's only going to be the Dr. Home exotic rifle. Now, to someone like me that has played the game enough that I have every exotic in the game, I don't care. I'm not playing this mission on normal, hard, challenging, heroic, whatever, with friends. So I'm not playing it because I'm farming for a specific exotic that I want. I'm farming it for the exotic itself because instantly that exotic will be broken down for exotic components, which I'll be able to use rank 10 and up or so, you know what I'm saying, at the expertise bench, because that gets expensive and the game is ultra stingy with these exotics. So naturally we had players pushing back at this point. They're like, yo, what's going on with this? Because we've kind of seen this before. We've seen this MO before where you say, hey, you know, we're not going to touch this right now, and all of a sudden, blam! Summit Floor 10 XP nerfed into the ground. Oh, we didn't mean to do that right now. We're going to work on it. We got something in store for it. Don't worry. Nothing has ever happened with that. It was just smoke. Smoke. So you would look over there when instead you should be looking over there. You should have been paying attention to that, you know, that right cross that was coming. And instead, you're looking over at the left. You understand what I'm saying? Just smoke. Diversionary tactics. So instantly, players' levels start going up. Their anger starts going up because they understand this feels like double talk. And it feels like double talk to me, too. So now steps in Daria, our community developer. Her tweet is, this fix gives everyone who missed getting the seasonal exotic on the first run a chance to obtain it. It's not a nerf. It won't affect future seasons. First off, I didn't see anything from anyone asking about future seasons. We don't know anything about the future seasons. We don't know anything about year 5. None of that has any relevance in this discussion. This fix gives everyone who missed getting the seasonal exotic on the first run a chance to obtain it. So what this says to me is, okay, we're taking all the random exotics out. We're just going with the Dr. Home. You can run this thing 50 times in a row. You can get 50 Dr. Homes. Once again, to someone like me, and I know my situation is different than a lot of players out there, but someone like me, I've got all the exotics. I don't care what exotic it is. It's getting broken down to an exotic component. So I don't care if you give me a Dr. Home. I don't care if it's a Chatterbox. It's getting broken down and it's getting used at the expertise system and at the recal bench. Okay, what I'm not including in here is this kind of, well, if you don't like the changes, you know, hit the road, Jack, response that we also saw from Daria that really doesn't have any relevance right now because it was deleted, which further kind of just doesn't sit well with the community. Anyway, here is the 4th tweet, and we got this one this morning. We've heard your concerns and decided against implementing any changes. You should be able to acquire the Dr. Home exotic rifle as a random exotic drop once you complete the General Anderson manhunt mission or by replaying it with a new character. So listen to that again. We've heard your concerns and decided against implementing any changes. So I'm going to tell you, this is just my theory here. I don't have any proof of this. One of these two happened. All right, you ready? Sit down, everyone. Grab your popcorn, because one of these two scenarios went down at Massive. Number one, and I'd like to think this is the one that happened, although I'm a little skeptical these days because I've seen what happens. But scenario number one, they sat down in the meeting. Somebody had the gall, somebody had the stones, the balls to raise their hands and say, you know what, this is not good for the players. We've taken a lot of stuff away from them. We've taken the floor 10 XP farm away. We've taken resource farms away. We kind of messed around with the doggo convoys. We messed around with target practice XP. We've taken all these things away from them. We're at a point now where we're just starting to get some player engagement back into the game. I think this would be bad for player engagement. That's me stomping my hand down on the table. Like, this cannot go through. And I'd love to think that that is what they were thinking about, because at this point, with a 4-year-old game that's struggling to iterate and push out new content, it's really struggling with the engine that's driving the game. These devs are still just, it's a wild and messy experience anytime they make changes to the game. For a 4-year-old game, there should be 2 questions on the board at Massive. 2 questions. And if it's not a definitive yes for these 2 questions, then whatever it is, it should not make it into the game. Number 1 is, will the players enjoy this? Will it be fun? Is it beneficial to them? Is it good for the game? And I'm saying for the game, more like the gaming experience. I don't give a damn about the power creep or the power level matrices or these people are progressing too fast. Who the hell cares? It's a 4-year-old game. Is it good for the players? Are they going to enjoy it? Okay. And the second thing is, and if it has to be this way, the second item is, will it increase player engagement? Those are the only 2 questions that should be asked about any changes to this game. Will the players enjoy it? Will it increase player engagement? If it's not a hell yes to both of those, it should not be changed within the game. Period. I mean, I could probably just end the video right there. Now, I'd like to think that that was it. Somebody raised their hands at the meeting and said, this cannot go forwards. This is going to kill any goodwill we have with the players that we've been building up through Season 10. This cannot go through with the game. Scenario number 2, and this is the one I'm leaning towards. I'll let you decide in the comment section. Sorry, scenario number 2 is somebody on the dev team said, you know, we tried to make it so that, you know, it's just going to be the doctor home at the end of the mission, and we can't make this work. We've run through the different testing, and it's just not going to work. We can either leave it as random, where every time they finish it, they just get randoms, or we can just completely take out exotic rewards at the end of this mission. And then they started thinking about it. Well, we already said that, at least from our grammar, the way that we wrote it, that it's just going to be the doctor home. What are you telling us? You can't make the doctor home the only exotic reward, completion after completion after completion? I think this is what happened. Somebody on that change side, within the coding side, said, no, we can't do this. So they came out and they painted it as, we've heard your concerns and decided against implementing any changes. That's what I think happened. So all of this could have been avoided, and the pushback, I think, is understandable. Some people take it over the line, but at this point, you know, we've kind of seen this game played out. We understand what's happening. The way it was responded to, and to this now deleted tweet of, well, if you don't like it, basically shove off, Jack. This is the way it's gonna be. That needs to stop, just period. And I can't show you that tweet, and I wouldn't show you that tweet. That's actually been deleted at this point, which further leads to the point that it was inappropriate. But yeah, man. I've made it through this entire video without dropping any curse words. I'm going to continue to do so. This is probably a good place to stop this one. Let me know in the comment section below which of those 2 scenarios you think it was. Number 1, somebody raised their hand and said, This is not good for player engagement. It's not going to be good for the game. It's not going to be good for players' enjoyment with the game. We can't do it. Or was it number 2, they couldn't figure out how to make it work where it would just drop the doctor home? Because the way I'm reading it is, at least what I think was going to happen, was they were going to make this a complete change that you ran through it once, you got the doctor home, whether you had it or not, you got another one, and after that, it was no more exotics. They were taking it out of the game. Another player advantage, something that was driving up player engagement, was going to be removed from the game. So there you go. That's just my thoughts and impressions of everything. It kind of went down really over the last 24 hours, but ever since that General Anderson manhunt target mission went live with the doctor home and all the shenanigans that has happened since then. I really look forward to reading your feedback in the comment section below. Let me know which of those 2 scenarios you really think it was. While you're here, please make sure to smash that big, beautiful subscribe button and also ring the bell to receive all my future upload notifications. If you could take a few seconds more to rate and or share this video, it would be greatly appreciated. Remember, you can find and follow me over on Twitch, Twitter, and of course on my open community Discord server. Links to all my socials can be found in the video description and pinned comments below. Until the next one, this is LtBuzzLitebeer signing off.